Hey, my name is Tarkan Baisal and I'm going to show you how to build consistent habits easy based on my experience from 3 to 4 months. Now, let's jump right to it. There are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to building effective habits, and I myself struggle to build habits for a very, very long time, particularly stuff like exercising, stuff like that. It was very hard for me to build good habits. Now, I'm going to show you a 3 step system that you see right now on the screen. At the bottom, I have an example of binge watching Netflix and movies and stuff like that. So it signifies kind of the bad habits in red. And on the green, in the top, in green, we have the good habit of exercising as an example. So let's say someone wants to build an habit of exercise. A lot of people think that they have to push themselves and motivate themselves in order to get themselves to get to the practice, get to the yoga, get to the, fitness. And I thought that too until, think about choosing a bad movie or a boring movie, like a movie that you absolutely hate, and imagine trying to motivate yourself and saying to yourself, dude, you're not motivated enough to watch that movie. Watch it until the end. You're the problem. Like blaming yourself because you can't watch this stupid, boring movie when in fact the problem is not you not watching the movie, but the movie itself is just not the right thing for you. Maybe you don't like Titanic. Maybe you way better like a comedy sitcom like Friends, or maybe you hate Friends. Maybe you like How I Met Your Mother. That's just up to you what you like and what your preference is. And it comes to the same thing when we look at building productive habits. When building productive habits, you don't necessarily have to go to the gym. You don't necessarily have to weight lift. I thought that too, and I thought I had to weight lift and stuff. I hated weightlifting. Even as an example, Jason Momoa said that he hated weightlifting. Absolutely, he only does it when the movies want him to. But he likes rock climbing, for example. I think he said rock climbing, if I'm not, wrong here. But think about Jason Momoa as, a muscle package. So what he says is definitely true in this case. So just find something that you truly love. In my case, I realized that while doing the push-ups, I realized that I really like to, feel every muscle consciously. And so I came down to the idea that yoga was much better suited for me and my preference. So I started working out or practicing yoga. I know a lot of people underestimate yoga. Yoga is very powerful. So find something that you love to do. That can be swimming, that can be anything. Think about it. Now, step two at the middle, we have insignificant action. Now, let's go back to the unproductive habit of watching Netflix. I only watch one episode a day, or I only smoke once a week, right? But then, slowly, they start to, smoke every other minute. Like, it's just not sustainable. You can't, um, like, unconsciously, we do this all the time with our bad habits, but we can actually use the same principles for our good habits. So let's say, or I'm gonna just tell you the story of my yoga practice. So I chose yoga. I said yoga is much better for me, and I made it as easy as possible. So I said, okay, what clothes am I going to wear? When am I going to do it? Where am I going to do it? Am I going to the gym or am I doing it at home? Or am I going to maybe a group of people and doing yoga there? So you have to just be decisive and make those decisions before you actually, like, you can't say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do yoga, okay, and then you wake up tomorrow and you're like, okay, but where do I do it? What do I do it? Which practice am I going to do? Like, these decisions, they take time, and they take your mind cannot make these decisions. So please make those decisions as clear as possible before the time comes to do them. And also, do not say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. When are you going to do it exactly? Are you going to do it in the morning? And if you're going to do it in the morning, are you going to do it before the shower? Are you going to do it right after you wake up, or are you going to do something else like showering or cooking a meal and then working out? Like, this is not, I'm not telling you when to do your workout or something, but just you have to think about exactly when are you going to do it, how are you going to do it, and with, like, you have to make it as easy as possible for you. That's step two. And also with step two comes, you have to make it an insignificant action. Make it so easy, make it ridiculously easy. Like, I didn't start with 45 minutes yoga a day. That's what I do right now. But I started with 20 minutes of yoga and then increased to 30 minutes of yoga. Once it became boring, once it became such a routine for me to do 20 minutes of yoga, 30 minutes of yoga, I increased in the minutes, or I increase in the, that it becomes harder, it becomes more dense, but more intensive. But you have to choose yourself, and it comes down to your level, you know. But you have to definitely make it an insignificant action and make it as easy as possible. The key here is not to push the limits or show yourself how cool you are, or how much, weights you can lift, or how much minutes you can, like, everybody of you could probably walk a marathon. Like, it would be physically possible, biologically possible, with the stress and everything. You could do it. um, Maybe uh, really bad, but you could do it. But the point is, we have to build consistency. That's what it's about. It's not about what you can do or what you are capable of. It's about building the consistency. Just like the guy smoking one cigarette a week, he's not thinking about him becoming addicted to cigarettes, but he will eventually. Understand what I'm saying? So you have to make it insignificant. That's step two. And step three happens by itself. If you go through this process, like following every step, you will form the habit, and then you form a new habit, you form a new habit, you form a new one, and those habits become the ground of your being, and you become much more, like, it becomes a part of your identity. Those habits form your identity, and you become a much better person. So I wish you good luck. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comments, and if you are more interested in such videos like this, then subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.